Okay, we'll call to order the Raymore Parks and Recreation Board meeting for Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. Can I get a roll call, please?
Member Clark is absent. Sorry, I should have finished my statement there. All other members are present, sir.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm losing it. I'm losing it.
We'll move on to personal appearances. Seeing nobody, we will close that and move to item number 5, consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Bill.
I move we approve the Park Board minutes for March 28, 2023 board meeting.
Excellent.
I'll second that.
Okay, hearing a first and second, any discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to vote. All those in favor? 6-0, 1 absent. Next, we'll move to staff reports. Director?
Thanks, sir. I will call on Recreation Superintendent Brennan for a staff report, and I apologize. I actually inserted the wrong monthly report for the recreation report, so he's going to have to show us what he's made of and go off the cuff today.
Perfect.
Thank you, sir. Park Chair, members of the board, did want to highlight a few items. Last week was actually the beginning of our Tiny Soccer program. Athletic coordinator Nick Cook got an introduction to that program for the first time last week. I didn't want to completely throw him to the fire, so I'm actually leading the Thursday class, and then the 2 Saturday classes he is running completely on his own. Those classes, we've got, as I mentioned, we got 3 different classes. Each one of those classes are filled, completely full, and those are just a real joy to offer those programs for those 3- and 4-year-olds. It's a lot like herding kittens just with soccer balls out there. Also, tomorrow, athletic coordinator Nick Cook and myself will be heading to Pleasant Hill. We'll be taking part in the South Metro scheduling meeting, which is an all-day meeting. We've got, I'm proud to report, we've got 45 teams total this year between T-ball through 10th grade. Something I've always kind of taken pride in is more times than not, we tend to have the most teams each season for each sport, and that's the same thing this year. Pleasant Hill has the next most with 36 teams. And then this season at the concession stand for our baseball and softball season, we try to offer new items each and every season, so we can kind of change it up. One of the items I'm proud to note that we will be selling this year is Dippin' Dots, which is something we have not done before. Along with the Dippin' Dots, we'll also be offering frozen lemonade, and so that freezer is actually getting delivered this week along with the product. And then lastly, I do want to touch on May 6th is our Touch a Truck event. It'll be at Recreation Park from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then for any of those that have sensitivities to loud noises, 9 to 10 is our sensory-friendly hour. And we'll have vehicles such as school buses, police cars, fire trucks, and I think, Steve, you guys are going to have some equipment out there. So we just encourage everyone to come by and take part in what's a pretty cool event. So with that concludes my report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
Any questions for Superintendent Brennan? No? Thank you, sir. Director?
Thank you. I'll ask Mr. Rulo to give a parks report.
Thank you. I submitted a written report, but just we'll touch on a couple key items. I did want to say congratulations out to Jeff Schmill. I know we talked about it at the last meeting, but he did hit his 25-year anniversary with the Parks Department. You know, that's a big deal, a lot of years and a lot of experience and knowledge there, so happy to say that. Also wanted to say next Sunday, I believe it's next Sunday, May 7th, is our first one-day tournament. So we'll be getting those started off. Looking forward to those. And just the other thing, all staff has been putting in a lot of time down at the Hawk Ridge Park, Hawk's Nest, getting ready for Monday. It's really shaping up, really looks nice. The crew designed the sponsorship wall. It looks really neat down inside. So looking forward to all that and Monday night. So hope to see you all there. With that, I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Superintendent Rulo? No? Thank you, sir. Director?
Thank you. A couple items. Also, at Hawk Ridge Park, we did complete the accessible ramp on the amphitheater. So if you walk the trail at Hawk Ridge Park, you'll see we finally got that project. We approved it last fall, but it had to wait till the spring, so that has been done. And I believe there's a picture in my staff report kind of showing that area. We have right now, if just for a public announcement, and if any of the members know of anyone, we have a full-time park maintenance one position currently open, and soon to have 2 park seasonals open, and they must be 18 years or older for to be a seasonal worker. So good jobs. One's an excellent job with full benefits, and the other seasonals are a pretty good summer job for college kids coming home. So if you know anybody, send them our way. We'd love to talk to them about it. Finally, another mistake I just noticed in my staff report. The Monday night is our ribbon cutting. We originally had talked about Tuesday night, but the Unlimited Play folks who have been involved in our project from the onset could not make Tuesday night. And so we looked at the agenda for the city council meeting on Monday night to see if we could do it then, and Mr. Fearborn said that they did have kind of a light agenda at 6 o'clock, and so asked if we could just do immediately following at 7. So that's what we've done. So Monday night at 7 o'clock is the ribbon cutting. You don't have to go to the city council, you can just go to the park. We would like all of you to be there if you're able to. If you're not on duty, I don't know if you guys will be on duty or not, but as many as we can have out there. This has been a long project that we have labored through, and pretty excited to not have it on our to-do list. That would be my way of saying I'm glad it's over. And but it's exciting. It's really a neat park, playground. It's pretty big, and yep. And so in conjunction with the ribbon cutting, while we have everybody there, we are going to go ahead and do an Arbor Day tree planting. We've already planted the tree because we had to get it in before the landscaping and rocks and sod got put in, but we're gonna go ahead and take that picture. So the tree board's been invited there, so we should have the tree board, park board, and the city council there Monday night, and hope we have good weather and get this thing done. If you haven't been to the park, you wouldn't know that it's still a construction site because there are 30 to 40 people on there nonstop all the time. It is packed, but as of today, breathe a little easier as all the fences up and most of the major construction's over. So it's we're just not even worried about it. Let them play. They seem to be pretty excited about it. So I am happy to answer any questions you have on the ribbon cutting. We'll send out another announcement. Most of you have already should have received the email announcement on that. I would anticipate, Mr. Chair, that you and I will be speaking somewhat briefly along with the mayor on Monday night as well. So that concludes staff report, and happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the director? Ken?
One, real quick, is the ribbon cutting rain or shine?
I would say no.
Okay.
I would love it to be, but I think this is a fairly large project that I would anticipate that they would want to postpone it. But then again, it's been so long in coming, they may just say, let's do this thing and get it over with. So as soon as I'll find out, and if anything changes, then I'll let you guys know first.
Excellent, thank you.
Anyone else? How about parking for like the board members? Is there a place you'd rather us park than, because obviously the parking lot's going to be pretty busy.
Well, the parking lot, the main parking lot there, that's an excellent question, thank you, will be closed off for accessible parking only. So those with the handicap plates or stickers is all that parking lot will be used for. Everyone else, we would recommend you either park at Loris up by the soccer fields along the street right in front of Josh's house, or just crash at Josh's and walk from there. That'd be fine. And anywhere out there, but the main parking lot will be accessible. And it'll be pretty packed, so not having to be at city council, you can get there early and not have to worry about it as much.
Josh, could you rent a golf cart or something to get us up and back with? We appreciate it. $25 a
Like
spot. Excellent.
College days, or you
Excellent.
just pay for parking on game day. That's right.
Anything else? Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Moving on, we have no unfinished business, so we're going to move to new business. Item A, Contract Harmon Construction, Inc. Director?
Thank you, sir. I wanted to bring this to the board tonight for discussion, and then, if approved, a recommendation to move forward through the city council on the major construction of the rack expansion. This is one of our 2020 GEO bond projects. We've worked through the process. We've been working with SFS Architecture on the design and the bidding documents and ultimately construction management. And the bid plans were put together and sent out back in December, and bids were open for several weeks in late January through February, and we opened them in March. This is a very tight return on bid proposals. It's actually one of the smallest margins of the proposals that we've ever seen on a project. I believe it was $68 difference between the two lowest. And so because of that, we did a little bit of extra work in terms of reference checking and interviews with the construction companies, and we just feel good about Harmon Construction. They were the lowest bidder. They received good projects reviews, one specifically in Johnson County Parks and Rec. What is that park? It's called, starts with an M. I can't ever think. What's that? Meadowbrook? Oh, Meadowbrook. Yes. Okay, they did a project in Meadowbrook, so multi-million-dollar project that they were one of the main general contractors on, and director of Johnson County Parks and Rec had high things to say about them. Then they've done some work for what used to be Allen Bank and now is Country Club Bank across the street. They built that, so they've got some history here in town as well. Anyway, we did all of our checks. We've interviewed them, and we are proposing to recommendation for Harmon Construction for the construction of the rack. Now, I want to make something clear, or make some clarifications. This does not include like the flooring, the furniture, the equipment, all the extras. This is just the construction of the building. We will go in and do a lot of those what we call F&E and the flooring and those things individually with those contractors, because we can get a better pricing when we buy it off our government contracts. So this is for the major construction of the building and some of the basic features of the building. So I want to make sure that that's clear, that the $3,086,932 isn't a turnkey project. It's just for the construction. And that was how all of the bids were. So when you see that those bid results within my staff report, they're all apples to apple bids. I've also included the basic funding or budget of the project in my staff report. We will be utilizing, recommending that we utilize the bond premium and some unallocated funding that will help us to pick up the alternate bids, which is essentially the storage areas and the multi-use rooms with the multi-video or the screens and being able to rent those out for parties and fitness rooms and stuff like that. We're picking those up, which triggers the need to use that additional premium. And then just to ensure that we have enough, there will be a budget amendment, which we discussed back in December. I want to go ahead and recommend that we use at least $30,000 of that available bonding money that we have as to make sure we cover our contingency, so that there's plenty of money in there, and that will cover our contingency. The basic expenses are there: design, advertising, testing, contract, and then the contract contingency is what I was talking about, the $154,000. We want to make sure we have enough. I mean, that's the whole point of that. And then you see the additional furniture, equipment, IT, and all that, and the flooring and all of that is, that's where we're at. So we, slim margin, but that is, we want to keep those tight and hold us accountable. And then if we need to, certain things arise, then we come back and we address those at that point. But that concludes my staff report. I'm happy to answer any questions, and we do recommend Harbin Construction.
Any questions from the director? Bill?
It was interesting that there's, pardon me, interesting there was a $68 difference between the top lowest bid and the next. Obviously, they wanted it. Refresh my memory, Director. Who was the contractor for construction on the original building?
Westport Construction. They did not bid.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none. Oh, Dan.
Yeah, I was just trying to understand the flooring and the equipment and the IT. It looks like there's $113,000 set aside for that. Are we going to match the existing flooring?
Yes.
Does this include like carpeting and any like flooring finishes, or will the finished concrete type flooring be included in the main building, or is that part of this?
The flooring, the main flooring is, in the storage rooms, is just finished concrete, nothing fancy. In the multi-purpose rooms, it is a VCT, I think, is the name of the type of flooring, but it's a multi-use floor surfacing. And then the gym floor will match specifically what we have in there. And that also includes painting and restriping the current floors.
And the price you have here is, you've gotten bids for these
Yes,
individual pieces, and you've put it together as one number for us?
We have quotes and everything, and yeah, so I just lumped them in there for space of the staff report, but I can show you those individually should you want.
That's okay. So for the IT, what sort of, what are we getting for that? Does that include, like backbone type
Right.
stuff that would be able to serve the individual rooms, or is that just like the front end, what you're going to see in the rooms, or is that the whole IT system?
The IT that we are placing in there are the additional cameras to cover what our current cameras would not. Door access, and basic cable, internet, and Wi-Fi.
So it's security and entertainment
Yes.
all together?
And that also, it does also include the recommendation. Some of the audio video needs that are in the multi-purpose rooms are in the building contract. The
That's what I
IT
was kinda
Yeah,
wondering.
the IT stuff
they're
is the
gonna do
additional
the-
security and cameras and door access that we did not bid that out.
So
'cause we
like
wanna
the
match.
conduit running to each building and distributing it all, that'll be a base building?
Yes.
And then the finish out of the actual stuff you see will be the,
Yes.
the,
Excellent clarification. Yeah, the IT on those that are listed out would be the finished product in terms of utilizing the current equipment that we have, matching, making sure, but the conduit and running the power and all those things are in the base bid of the contract of the construction.
so what other equipment does this include? Is it just what you've described just now, or is there other there's exercise equipment or anything like that?
Goals, nets,
Goals and nets?
the basic stuff to outfit a gymnasium. We did not include those because we can buy them direct.
So like basketball goal And then that's in some,
Yeah.
okay, and some equipment to go along with that.
Some of it.
Seems like, I'm questioning because it seems like, in my opinion, sort of low price
is.
for all the things you're getting.
Yes,
And
it
I'm
is.
just
There's
trying
a
to
l-
understand what it is we're getting for that.
There are things that are bid within the contract, and I appreciate you bringing this up so that I can clarify my report for the council, because if you're asking, they're going to ask too. So the basketball goals would be put into the base contract, but the volleyball nets that are not built into the building,
Understood.
they're removable, we'll buy those.
So is
So
that
there's
a
a
good way to think
clarification.
about it? Anything that
Yeah.
would be physically attached to the building?
So I
would be
appreciate
more
that. I'll
in
have
base
those
building? Okay.
answers ready to go for the council when we take it to council in 2 weeks.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I wasn't thinking in terms of breaking it down as that far, and so I need to.
Thanks, Dan. Anyone else? Bill?
Surprise. Director, on, just for clarification, we're having air wall in there, right? An air wall,
An air wall.
floating wall?
No, when we're taking down the west wall, and it'll be an open gymnasium.
So it'll be
And then
open
it'll
all the
be
way
a
through?
curtain that drops to divide the spaces like it's currently in there now.
Okay. I think that's similar to what I had in mind.
I would not have called it an air wall.
No, I probably wouldn't either.
We're going to stick with curtain.
We'll call it a very heavy curtain, yes. Thank you.
Josh?
Just a quick question. Does this include the original scope of what you planned on? Because at one time we were talking about if the budget comes back, we're gonna have to subtract this and that. Square footage wise, do you know what I'm talking about there?
Yes, and I appreciate that question. The bids that we received were favorable to include everything that we had wanted from the beginning. So what I am recommending on this contract is that we are picking up the alternates that include the fitness rooms and the storage room with the mezzanine on top, which would have been, if the budget came in too high, we would have recommended taking those things out, but we didn't have to. And so that is where, when you see the premium or the unallocated bonding money, we're using that has to go to bond projects to make sure that we do this building right. I don't think anybody wants to do this building and not have those additional features. And so I'm recommending to include all of those.
Perfect, thank you.
Now, will this have an air wall? Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was having a flashback. My bad. My bad. Anyone else? Thank you, Director. Hearing nothing else, I'll ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Bill.
I move that we accept the contract with Harmon Construction Incorporated for the proposed amount, including any fees that are associated with it or need to be incorporated.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay, hearing a first and second, any discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to vote. All those in favor? Passes 6-0, one absent. Moving on to public comment. We will close that since there's no public, and we'll move to board member comment. Dan, we'll start with you.
I don't have any comments today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Ken?
No further comments?
Thank you, sir. Josh?
I don't have many. I've watched the progress of Hawk Ridge Parks, and it looks very nice. I know it's been kind of a headache at times, and you guys have done a lot of work. But the finished product, it's so popular down there. There's kids everywhere, all night, all evening long. So it's going to be great. Thank you.
Chris?
Josh stole my thunder, but I've been to the park several times, and it's bananas with kids, so congratulations. It's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Bill?
No comment.
First off, I'd like to congratulate Jeff for 25 years. It's not easy to work anywhere 25 years. Sometimes, especially when you have an interesting supervisor, that sometimes changes some things. So congratulations to him. I too have been out there, and it's amazing. I was out there with both Mr. Rulo and the director, and we visited and kind of walked the space, and we had probably no less than 25 people going, when's it going to open? When's it going to open? We were there less than an hour. So truly amazing. This is what we've been waiting for, those of us that were on the board when this idea first started. This is going to be an awesome presentation. Obviously already is, but once that ribbon cutting happens, look out, because it's just going to be packed. So that's awesome. Thanks to staff. Thanks for the people behind the scenes. As always, city council, the mayor, and the citizens. We appreciate everything you do. So next we'll move to adjournment.
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn this meeting.
Okay, second.
I will second.
All those in favor? 6-0, 1 absent. Meeting adjourned.